Yo, yo, Black Family Power. What's up? What's up, family? Hey, it's King Leon X. This is episode 78. Episode 78 of our Midday Self-Mastery, our Midday Self-Motivation series. It's called Take Charge of Your Life. Today, March 31st, 2017. March 31st, 2017. This is Take Charge of Your Life. It's our Midday Self-Mastery, Self-Motivation series. And were we talking about this week? Yesterday we was talking about short-term goals. Last week we was talking about long-term goals, and we gave y'all a bunch of particular action steps. I gave y'all some of the particular definite strategies that I used years ago, and then I showed y'all my notebooks last week in the actual paperwork that I used to start on this whole new path and this whole new journey of personal development and personal achievement. And so yesterday we was talking about short-term goals, and I want to finish talking about short-term goals, and then I want to talk about this concept of sliding. All right, I want to talk about short-term goals and this concept of sliding, and then then I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow, episode 79. But yeah, the hashtag for our episodes is make the choice. So if I say something that resonates with you, in this episode, you say make the choice. And what that means to me is that you understand the power that you have to be responsible for the direction of your own life and your own journey. And you make the choice every day to correct those errors in judgment and practice a few simple disciplines. We make the choice every day to take possession of our mind and direct it to the ends that we choose. We make the choice every day to not complain about the can't not do portion of our problems. We make the choice to focus on the can do portion of our problems. We make the choice every day to have and maintain a positive mental attitude regardless of circumstance. We make the choice to affirm the desirable results and the desirable experiences, and deny the undesirable results and the lack thoughts. Okay, we make the choice to do these things on a constant daily basis. When we talking about short-term goals, yesterday we got to the point where we identified short-term goals as those which can take anywhere from a year or a day to a year to accomplish. All right, these types of goals are confidence builders. Right, that's why we urge you. This is why we urge you to write down, have a notebook or journal or something to not only document your long-term goals like how we talked about last week episodes, but to be clear and write down your short-term goals. We want you to write them down because the best part about having a list is being able to check things off. This is why we call them confidence builders. All right, how you organize your list is up to you. You can arrange it by day. You can arrange them by week or by month. You could position them as You could position your goals, even your short-term goals, as subcategories or subparts of your long-term goals. Remember, within our long-term goals, we wrote long-term goals for what we want to do, be, have, experience, the places that we want to go, what we would like to share, goals for our finances, goals for our business, our relationships, our career, our human relationships, our family, our legacy / social contribution, our personal development and spirituality. We set long-term goals and visions for each of those areas. And then from those, it's an accumulated list of short-term goals and short-term opportunities to execute or practice discipline, which is going to ultimately lead us to our main goal. So when you check something off your list that's completed, take time to celebrate your achievement. That's why y'all remember the Drake song. He said, drinking every night because we drink to my accomplishments. He said you drink to his accomplishments, which means he said accomplishment is, it goes from an idea and a thought to an actual physical or completed thing. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Drake said we drinking every night because we drink to my accomplishments. That means accomplishment, that means it's a long-term or short-term goal completed. Discipline. Remember, we talked about discipline is the study. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. So when you execute enough discipline, or when you have enough discipline to turn your goal into an achievement or a goal into your accomplishment, then you could celebrate that. You want to take time to celebrate that. And that celebration could be a moment of satisfied reflection when you finish your small task, or a major reward when the accomplishment calls for it. Right? Some people like for example me. I like for example, it's many different things and many different rewards that we could give ourselves based on our effort and our consistent, deliberate effort. For minor tasks, it's minor rewards and reflection. Something like your next meal. Something like a smoothie. Something like maybe a L or whatever that you use to to create a reward system for yourself. But it's important that each time we check something off of our checklist, or each time we achieve a short-term goal, which is something that take a day to a year to achieve, or long-term goals, we reflect on it. We're in a state of gratitude. We celebrate it, because this is going to give us fuel to keep going. Right? Regardless, take time to enjoy your victories. You see, this is why they have if your city ever won a national championship or something like that, they know that next season they gotta start, but they don't automatically win it next year because they won it the year prior, and so they know they gotta go back to preseason camp. They gotta go back to square one, and they gotta do all these other little different types of things. But they won though, and they're gonna take that time to celebrate their accomplishment. They do these things through, they be having whole parades, they be doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So you want to take time to enjoy your victories. Okay, it will inspire you to do more. Right? It'll inspire you. Like when you win, then you get addicted to the feeling of winning, and then winning the day, or winning the minute, winning the. See, you can win the minute, you can win the 15-minute, you can win the hour, right? You can win the day, you can win the week, you can win the month, you can win the year, you can win the decade, and then you can win your life just by a few simple disciplines. But just as we urge, and here's the key, just as we urge people to celebrate their accomplishments, we want. And this is a less popular recommendation, but Jim Rohn and I, we want you to make losing painful. Like losing gotta be painful. Because if we're gonna celebrate our accomplishments, and we're gonna be full of joy based on our efforts and the things that we achieve, when we don't achieve them, we must make losing painful. Make losing painful. You see, we grow from two kinds of experiences: the joy of winning and the pain of losing. Right? We grow from the joy of winning and the pain of losing. Think about all the times that you might have lost, or you had to go through some pain. Think about the power that you received from that. Think about the lesson that you learned from that. Think about the equivalent benefit that was contained in that adversity that was there the whole time. It might have took you a while to realize it. Might have took you you separating yourself from these things for a certain amount of time. But lo and behold, you found a seed of equivalent benefit contained in that setback. Okay, so we learn from pain and winning. We learn from the joy of winning and the pain of losing. All right. So when you win, you gotta celebrate your wins, right? And you celebrate your victories according to how major it was. But when you lose, you want to make losing painful. We grow from two kinds of experiences: the joy of winning and the pain of losing. So if you set yourself on a course to complete a project and you fool around instead, make sure you find a way, a strategic, systematic way to pay for your laziness, pay for your inconsistency, right? Take full responsibility for both positive and negative behavior. Me and Peacekeeper was just talking about that before this is why I was a little late starting to take charge of your life, because me and Peacekeeper was just talking about how manifestation and a law of attraction and shit don't turn off. Like your self-talk don't turn off. People love taking ownership of manifesting things that are good, like things that make them feel good or prosperous or righteous, things that make them feel a certain type of happy. They're like, yeah, I manifested that. Law of attraction. Boom, 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 boom. But then when an undesirable result or an undesirable experience happens, something comes to them that they didn't deliberately intend consciously, they don't take ownership of that. They lose all ownership. They forget everything about law of attraction. They forget all of these types of stuff. People don't take responsibility for the negative behavior or negative results. They only want to take responsibility and ownership for the positive behavior and positive results. And I'm here to tell you that if you do that, if you only want to take ownership over the positive aspect, and then you don't want to take ownership over the negative, then you'll never grow and you'll never expand, and you'll always keep repeating those same lessons, those same experiences, because the universe and nature and the ancestors is trying to get you to take responsibility, trying to get you to turn inward. And if you're only taking responsibility for the positive, then you can't correct the positive things that come into your life, and you're not taking responsibility for the negative things, then you can't correct. You can't correct those errors in judgment. If you can't correct those errors in your prior judgment if you're not taking responsibility for the thoughts, actions, and decisions that led you or attracted this undesirable experience. So you must understand, we grow from the joy of winning and the pain of losing. So we must take responsibility for both positive and negative behavior. People parents especially love expressing the positive traits of their child, and they always want to take ownership over the positive traits. They'd be like, oh, your child's doing so well in these areas. They'd be like, yeah, that's my boy, or yeah, that's my girl, or yeah, all these talents and all these things that other people might like or appreciate about the child, right? The parents love taking ownership of that. They're like, yeah, that's me. That's me who did that. That's my genes, right? But then you see a child maybe participating in some experiences that might be destructive or undesirable. Parents don't take ownership no more then. It's you. No, it's you. Or the other parent now. That's the other parent's genes that's manifesting in those undesirable results. Or that's the child itself. Right? So that's another example of how people only want to take responsibility for the positive and don't want to take responsibility for the negative or the undesirable results. All right. So in addition, what's most important in what we do, we surround ourselves with people who won't put up with no baloney and no bullshit. So when you committed to dramatic life change and becoming your greatest version, then the people that you been hanging around ain't gonna be qualified to take you to the next level, because they put up with they put up with your usual baloney. What you gotta do when you want to expand is get around people who's not gonna put up with that bullshit. People who got standards where the pressure is high. You don't want to join the easy crowd, right? One thing I heard say, if you're the smartest person in the group, you need to get a new group, right? Because iron sharpens iron. So we want to surround ourselves, when it comes to short-term goals and long-term goals, we want to surround ourselves with other goal-driven, goal-oriented people. And we want to go where expectations are high and where the pressure to perform is on. Because if you're like me, or maybe you're like Sue Chris, or Peacekeeper Rez, or Righteous Ruler, our 70% or our 50% could be your 100. You feel me? Or some people's like maximum capacity is like us just chilling. You know what I mean? Us barely putting in any type of effort is almost what some people could automatically hope for, is like the height of their achievement would be our minimal effort. And so when you're above average type of person, when you're extraordinary icon, then your 70%, you could get away, you could skate through life, depending on the groups that you decide to position yourself in. You should skate through life the whole way, never becoming your greatest version, giving 70% by everyone praising you like you the monument of inspiration. That's you are. You literally are a monument of inspiration, but you know for a fact deep down in your gut that 70% might even be pushing it. You might not even have to be putting in 70% of your max effort. Everyone around you praising you though. These aren't the crowds that we want to join in. We want to join in the crowds that the expectations are high and the pressure to perform is high. Right? That's an extreme part of our strategies for wealth and happiness. Alright? So that's that. That's we finishing up on short-term goals. Now I want to talk about this concept of sliding real quick. I'm going to read this section. We're going to talk about sliding, and then we're about to end this video because I see we hit the 15 minutes. Is good. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about sliding tomorrow. Alright, today we finished with our short-term goals and understanding that these are confidence builders. Your short-term goals give you a confidence to keep pushing, to keep going forward. You have your long-term goals, and then your short-term goals are just the layers. The little, small, intricate, consistent things or milestones that need to be reached in order for this major goal or for this major accomplishment to be reached. So it's important. Matter of fact, I might as well just do the slide, and it's cool. I'm going to just read this first paragraph of slide, and this is where we're going to pick up tomorrow. We're going to talk about this real deep. I want you to see, this is why I'm a little concerned, you see. I know that most people who read these pages, right? Most people who listen to Take Charge of Your Life, most people who type Make the Choice, most people who watch, right? They won't persist in setting goals and refining their goals. Most people won't. Most of y'all won't. I already know it. We know this. Why? Because it's time consuming and it's thought demanding work. Setting goals, designing your life, getting clear about what you want to do, have, experience, taste, all these types of things. It takes hard work. It's time consuming and thought demanding work. Thinking is one of the hardest things and the hardest jobs that there is. So people say, it was time consuming, hard, thought demanding work. This is why you don't have long-term, short-term written goals right now. Yet, isn't it ironic that many men and women who will work hard all day and all night at jobs that they don't necessarily like. People will work all day and all night at jobs that they don't necessarily like. But when asked to take time to design their own futures, they often reply, I don't have the time. They let their future slide. This is the concept of sliding. They let their future slide. You got all the time in the world for Mr. Charlie. He put you on the schedule on overtime. You got all the time in the world to do all of the things that you want to do, except for playing out your future and playing out your life. You say you don't have time to do that. I know that most people don't make definite plans, but you don't have to be a part of the most. I know that only 3% of adults have written goals, but I didn't have to be the part of the 97%. I know only 3% of adults have library cards. I don't have to be a part of the 97%. I know only 3% of people look up words in the dictionary. I don't have to be a part of the 97%. I walked away from the 97%. I joined the 3%. So I know most people not going to make definite plans. But don't be a part of the most. You can't go around life with your fingers crossed hoping things will get better. That's not a good strategy. Whether you accept it or not, right now, you are one of the players of the game of life. One of the players, and believe me, if you don't have goals to shoot at, you're not playing an exciting game. Listen, you can't, as long as you're breathing, you're a player in the game of life. If you don't have goals to shoot at, if you don't have a definite major aim, if you don't have a long-term vision of the future, if you don't know what the 5 things you want said when you die, right? If you don't know how you want them to describe you on your obituary and your accomplishments and all of the shit that you brought forth to your to other generations, right? The significant difference that you made on the planet. If you don't know what that is, I'm here to tell you that you're not playing an exciting game. Because you don't got no goals to shoot at. The goals you got to shoot at is some shit that someone else told you to do. Like, work hard, go to school, get a good job. That's not a very exciting game to be playing. That's not a very exciting life. No one will pay good money to watch you play a game where no one is keeping score. This is why writing down our goals is important. This is why, like, when I show y'all my notebooks from 2012, y'all see exactly where my head was at. Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly the thoughts that I was writing down. Exactly the direction that I intended my life to head. And then from 2012 on, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Damn, that's 6 years of documented notes, effort, goals, refining, all of these types of things. 5 years of that. So the things that, me deliberately determining my future and the direction of my life is not by chance. It's by intent. But the guy says, hey, if you work where I work, by the time you get home it's late. You gotta get a bite to eat. Watch a little TV and relax. Then you gotta get to bed. You can't sit up all night. Read. You can't sit up half the night and plan. You can't sit up half the night and study. You can't sit up half the night and write. And this is a guy behind on his car payments. This is the guy behind on his bills. This is the guy who don't have definiteness in the the relationship with his children. He said, hey man, by the time I get home from work, it's late. I gotta eat, crack a brew, relax, watch some TV, watch the game, get to bed. I can't listen to audiobooks all night. I can't watch lectures all night. You know what I mean? This is the guy who's behind. This is the guy who in 6 years from now will be broke and embarrassed, explaining why they're not doing well versus celebrating their accomplishments and telling people how they did it. You got to be more than a hard, sincere worker. You could work hard and sincere your whole life and end up broke and embarrassed. Guess what? Black people worked hard and sincere for 400 years. But did that guarantee cash flow? Did that guarantee wealth and happiness? Did that guarantee sound health, peace of mind, freedom from fear? Does working hard and sincere guarantee hope for future achievement? Does it guarantee capacity for applied faith? Does it guarantee wisdom to understand people? Does it guarantee open mind towards all subjects and all people? Does it guarantee the wisdom to understand people? Does it guarantee that you're willing to share your blessings with other people? Does it guarantee that you're developing complete self-discipline? Right? It don't guarantee those things. Working hard and sincere don't guarantee any of that. You gotta be better than a hard worker. You gotta be better than a good worker. You gotta be better than sincere. You gotta be a good planner. You gotta be a good reader. You gotta be a good goal setter. You gotta be a good executor. Writing your goals down shows you that you're committed to your growth and that you're serious. And to do better in life, you gotta get better yourself and you gotta get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you have to be serious. Everybody hopes for things to get better. Everyone hopes for more money. Everyone hopes for all of these things. But hope unaided by clear planning can actually hurt you. Faith without works is dead. Y'all heard that, right? I used to suffer from the illness of passive hope, and it was bad. The only thing worse than passive hope is happy passive hope. That's when a man is 50 and broke and he's still smiling and hoping. That's really bad. So get serious, put your goals on paper. This is my suggestion from experience. Because think about this. If people been working longer than you and I have been alive in America, and they at work today. And if they're not at work right now, then they're not going to get paid. That means they got sold on the wrong plan. No matter how sincere they are, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much they love you, no matter how much they love what they do. They at work right now. They've been working longer than you've been alive. If they at work right now, they got sold on the wrong plan. And they did it wrong. If they couldn't stay at home or decide to do some other shit today and still guarantee getting paid without having to ask someone if they didn't have to, they did it wrong. If they depended on one stream of income, they did it wrong. You see? And so we don't have to follow those same steps and paths. Just because people did it wrong and they still continue to do it wrong. We can make the choice and walk away from the 97%. Join the 3%. It's King Leon X. This was episode 78. Episode 78 of our midday self-mastery, self-motivation series. I see them make the choices all up in the comments. If I said something that resonated with you, go ahead, type make the choice. And go ahead and share this video, because I know some of the power words and concepts that we discussed will definitely resonate in the minds, hearts, ears, and souls of the people. So yeah, it's King Leon X. You can check out my website, kingleonx.com. Buy my book and my CD to support me. You can get them on Amazon, Tidal, Spotify, iTunes, or you could buy them directly from my Facebook page or my website. Other than that, y'all stay grateful. And remember, someone's opinion of you don't have to be your reality. If you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you're getting. If you change, everything will change for you. If you change, everything will change for you. But if you don't change, then everything will stay the same. You have the power. Take charge of your life, family. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. And remember, the only limitations that you have is the ones you set up in your own mind, or you allow others to set up for you. Yeah, I see all them make the choices coming in. Make the choice. Look. Make the choice. Yeah, someone said make a difference. It's like this. That's the real thing. Significance. We striving for success with significance. When you die, and everyone that knows you dies, if you haven't made a difference and done something significant on the planet, it would be like you was never born. So what are you gonna do with your life? You're gonna add value. You're gonna add value to the history of the world, or you're gonna add value to the graveyard. You're gonna live full. You're gonna live full and say yes to your goals, your dreams, your ideas, your thoughts, your books, your everything, and live to your max and grow to the max and see it all, be it all, have it all. Or you're gonna live full and die empty, or you're gonna do like most people, live empty and shallow and then die full. Die full of your goals, full of your songs, full of your cures, full of your projects, full of your ambitions, full of your nonprofits, full of your solutions. Are you going to take those to the graveyard with you? Or are you going to correct a few errors in judgment, practice a few simple disciplines to ultimately change the direction of your life? I did. I was headed for life in prison or obituary. Now I'm headed to goddamn Forbes list and Nobel Peace Prizes.